Hello! Welcome to Erin and Drew's Movie Reviews, the show where we actually watch movies and talk about them. And yes, there may be spoilers ahead. My name is Drew.
My name is Erin.
And if the yo didn't give it away, there isn't anyone named Adrian in the room, I don't think.
No.
But we're going to talk about Rocky.
Woohoo!
This is a movie, if we have folks who watch these on YouTube who might not watch these in order, but, and as of our recording blocks, the way they're set up, as far as the movies that have been my selections that aren't a member of the class of 1981, this is the second one in a row that has featured something to do with sports, and it's the second one in a row that's been in the set from the 70s, and it's been the second one in the row to start with an R.
Yep.
The other one was Rollerball.
Yep.
And they were in consecutive years, 75 and 76.
Yeah.
Yep. So totally didn't plan it that way. Blame it on her because she randomly selected
That's
them.
true.
So.
I do randomly select.
But what are
movies.
the odds, though, that you would pick
That
both
is
of them?
very weird.
That would be in like 1 year after the other, same letter.
We need to find one for 77 now.
And they're both about sports.
About sports. Starting
Different
with R.
sports, but they're about sports. But, yeah. Anyway, and correct me if I'm mistaken, but this is the second movie we've done on this show that has won Best Picture. You remember what the other one was?
Parasite.
Parasite.
Has
But
there
have there
been
been
any
any
other
other
ones?
Best Picture ones? I don't think so. That I'm aware of.
I don't think so.
Yeah, we have our taste isn't good enough to do a Best Picture every week. You know.
Yes.
That would get boring.
Yes.
You know, you got to have like your, I don't know,
Random fighting movies.
random fighting movies. Oh, we'll get to those
We'll
in
get to
another
that.
episode of the show, but because there's going to be a few of those in the future probably.
Yes,
But
probably.
anyway, Rocky. Yeah, it's interesting if you stop and think about how big of a star Sylvester Stallone has become over the past 40 years or so. But if you look back to this movie, where he could have been or not have been had he not sold this, or didn't end up selling this screenplay, because he was offered, I want to say $300,000 because he wrote it,
Yep.
and they offered him $300,000 for the screenplay, and he said no because I want to be in the movie, because they wanted to put someone else in the part. And you know how much he got paid per week for this?
I don't.
It's like $250 a week to be in this movie.
Wow.
Yeah.
Inflation will make that about the same
Yeah.
as minimum wage right now.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah.
Yeah, but then this kind of led to, but who knew this was going to win Best Picture?
Yeah, exactly.
And then he got like
Nobody.
you
Nobody
know,
knew.
and then we have Rocky sequels, and then we have
8 of them. Well, there will be 8 of
yeah.
them.
Well, if you count the Creed movies,
Yes.
yeah.
Which you should, because they're technically Rocky sequels.
That is true. Yeah, and Creed's 1 and 2 could easily replace Rocky 5, and I don't know about Balboa. Balboa is okay, but Rocky 5 was terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah. Everything else is in the series is pretty good. 4 is a little cartoony, but I like it. But it's like got that 80s good.
Oh, yeah.
Everything that's good about the 80s is in Rocky 4.
Is in Rocky 4.
Yeah, and that's why I love it.
Don't
Is it as
wonder.
good? Is it really as
Yeah.
good as this one? I would say, probably not.
Eh.
This is a Best Picture after all. So.
Right, right.
But yeah,
They became more exciting and less Best Picture worthy
yeah,
as they went on.
yeah. Well, it's very because there is a very clear. I mean, I'm kind of getting into the franchise now, but hey, it's a movie show.
We talk about movies.
We talk about movies, but there's a very clear demarcation point in the Rocky character. Well, there's a couple of them. Rockies 1 and 2 could almost be the same movie,
Right.
or one long movie.
Yeah. If it was made today, it would be one long movie.
Yeah, or it would be just an 8-hour miniseries on Netflix or something. Wouldn't you think? Because it's
I
like
would
I don't
watch
know.
that.
If movies like this don't seem to get made today. You know what I mean? I mean,
Sure.
I think the last one like this that would become close would be like $1 Million Baby, or what was the one Russell Crowe was in? Cinderella Man. You know, I don't even know if they would make that now. Would they? Maybe.
I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Yeah.
People want more to their fighting movies.
Yeah. It's just
than a story. No one wants a story
No one wants
anymore.
a story about
They
character.
just want to see people hitting each other so that you can eat popcorn in time to
Yeah,
it.
like Mortal Kombat.
Yeah, we'll get to that.
That's another episode. But yeah, you have Rocky 1 and 2. That could be one movie, and then you have a very clear, like when you get to Rocky 3, it's like he's almost a completely different character. Like his accent's gone. You know, so yo, blah 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 blah. He's kind of like well spoken. His English is better. He's wearing suits. He lives in a huge mansion. He has fancy cars. And the Rockies 3 and 4 are kind of like thump. He's like a completely different character almost.
Yes.
And then Rocky 5, kind of slide there on to like the Creed movies. He kind of goes back to like this Rocky.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where he's kind of, he's bummed the streets and he's got the hat and the little bouncy ball and he's like, yo, to everybody. So it's like where he changes characters twice throughout the whole series.
He makes a complete arc.
Yeah, it's just weird, but yeah, and it's funny because in a boxing movie like this, the first thing you see, other than the credit, of course, is a huge picture of Jesus, like just staring at you with the little, wafer waiting to go into the cup for communion. It's like, whoa, what? I thought this was a box, and then they're like, obviously, then they pull back, and I guess it's like a church gymnasium for like a Catholic or like some kind of parochial education, physical ed thing.
Yeah.
I don't know. I didn't think that's weird that churches sponsor boxing things. But this is Philadelphia we're talking about.
Yeah, things are different in Philly.
Because there's a lot of Italian Catholics who like boxing, and he obviously is Italian. So, and they're very if you noticed anything about the actual boxing technique in that opening, his technique is so bad. He's like, because the guy he's like this, whereas Rocky's like
wide open.
he's like dude, why aren't your gloves like here? He has just such a goofy stance, and it shows because he's getting beat up, and even the guy even headbutts him because he doesn't respect him at all. Right. And then finally he gets mad and like just snaps to life. It's like he's just in a stupor, and you kind of see this isn't. He's a fighter. It's almost like he's not a serious boxer because the fight's over. How much did he take home for the winner? $40.
Yeah.
For like, and he only fights like every couple weeks. So, and the guy who lost got like $15. I think, what did he say? It was they deducted money for tax, locker room, towel, and I think shower.
Yeah.
They deducted all that from like his basically pay, so he walks away with like $40. Which, wow.
Yeah. Yeah.
For getting beat up, that ain't very much.
It's not good pay for getting your face punched in.
Yeah. What did Tobey Maguire get in Spider-Man to go in the ring with Macho Man Savage, or what was he called? Oh, Bonesaw.
Bonesaw.
Get ready, or as Bruce Campbell
Bonesaw's
says, get ready for Bonesaw. I think he got, you're supposed to get what, 1,000?
I think so, yeah.
But the guy only gave him like $100 because it only lasted like, was it so many minutes? I forget what it is.
Right,
now.
and he didn't do anything, and he climbed up on the walls.
Yep.
Yeah, no, he didn't get hardly anything that he was supposed to get in that movie, and then was robbed anyways.
Yeah, but then the fight's over. It's like they're not real serious athletes. He's smoking a cigarette. Him and the guy are sharing a locker room. He's drinking a beer. It's like, the fight's over. It's like nobody cares. It's just another Friday night or whatever night it is.
It's just something you do on the weekends.
Yeah. So he kind of gives
Part-time
you
boxer.
an idea of where he's at, and then his other job, if you want to call it that, he's a thumb breaker, or kind of thumb breaker wannabe, maybe would be the right way to say that.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you can kind of tell he's in like these kind of jobs. I don't want to say because they're not beneath him, but he has a higher moral understanding of what his, like this, he knows it's not right, but he's trying to do the job anyway. Right. Because he's supposed to break this guy's thumb for like not paying this guy. and he won't do it because he was short like what $70 or something. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh, you should have planned ahead." And even the guy is like, "Oh, I can break my thumb, and I can say it was an accident, and blah blah blah." He's actually offering to have his thumb injure himself, and he says, "No, forget it," and then he just walks away.
Yeah.
And then his boss finds out about it. It's like, when you do that, it kind of makes me look bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, so he's not very good because he's not a bright guy, obviously, but he knows he probably shouldn't be doing those kind of things, but he doesn't know what else to do, except walk by the pet shop and hit on his friend's younger sister. So who doesn't really, because he comes back every time he thinks of a joke. He has to think of a joke every time he walks by the shop. Like what was it? He said he was complaining about his turtle food. Oh yeah, because there's moths in my turtle food. What happens? Shell shock. Yeah, that's the jokes he tells to her, and she's like, "Yeah." She's just very, and she's very Adrian. She's very, what would be the right word? Bookish. Not bookish because she's not really reading, but she's kind of mousy. And doesn't like looking people in the eye. She's very shy.
Yeah, very shy, very.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would go with mousy. That would be
Mousy,
a good word.
good one. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then you start seeing he loves the pet. He also, he talks to the birds, he talks to the turtles, and then there's the big dog that apparently someone dropped off there that he didn't want, and talks to the dog, and then but one thing I noticed when he's leaving like this fight at the beginning of the movie, he just walks by that pet shop when it's closed, and he talks to puppies in the window. Why would you leave puppies in a window overnight unprotected?
That is a good question.
Yeah. I don't know of any other place.
Maybe there
that would
was
do
like a little hatchway that they could escape into the store.
Yeah, because he's like tapping on the windows.
I
Like,
don't
"Hey,
know.
puppies!" But he's also kind of weird. He's not real bright, but he's also kind of like the neighborhood dad, kind of, because he talks to the guys who sing on the street corner, and then there's this girl who he knows the parents say, "Did your mom know you're smoking?" And he takes her home and gives her a big lecture about why you shouldn't do that and that kind of thing. But he's like, when he's boxing or training, he goes to the gym and finds out, hey, what happened to my locker? Because someone else is stuffing it, and then he finds out that, well, the owner, who was played by Burgess Meredith, by the way, says, "You know what? You kind of suck." Because, you could be really good, but you're wasting my time because you don't apply yourself and all that kind of thing. And so, yeah.
Just needs to apply himself more.
Yeah, he needs to apply himself more. And this other guy, he's a contender because he's here all the time and he works hard and that kind of thing. And then there's this big boxing match coming up that I think's supposed to be, New Year's Day?
Yep, on New Year's Day.
Yeah, and Apollo Creed, who is played by Carl Weathers of The Mandalorian, if you watch that these days, or Happy Gilmore. Have you seen Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
Yeah, he was in that too. What was his character's name in that? I forgot.
In Happy Gilmore?
Yeah.
I don't remember.
He was supposed to be some pro golfer.
Yeah, I don't remember.
Yeah, it's a Sandler movie. Who cares?
It's been so long since
I
I've
haven't
seen
seen
Happy
that in
Gilmore.
forever.
Oh my goodness.
I just remember him saying it's all in the hips. That's all I remember from that. But the guy he was supposed to fight on New Year's Day apparently had an injury and couldn't fight.
Yeah.
So he's going to give an unknown person a chance, and for some random, he's flipping through books. Apparently there's books of boxers.
Yeah.
Which, back then they didn't exactly have Google or whatever.
Yeah.
So
just the random
people.
This is your people search.
And the only reason he picked Rocky because he liked his nickname, the Italian Stallion. Yeah, randomly picked him right out of a book, and then he goes and this promoter tracks him down and says, "Hey, would you like to fight?" And he thinks it's just because he wants a sparring partner just to kind of help him get ready. He's like, "Oh, no, we want you to actually fight." Ooh.
Yeah.
All of a sudden he's getting attention, and then of course the gym manager, who got rid of all his stuff, is all of a sudden he's like, hey,
Hey, Rocky.
he's back. I see this potential. And then he gives him kind of a speech too about like, it's like, you want to know why? Because you're wasting your life trying to break people's thumbs. You should be in here all the time working hard, and you can go someplace, but you don't do that. And now he actually has a reason to do that.
Yes.
So, what happens after that? Oh yeah,
He punches some meat.
Yeah, he punches meat. Well, he kind of got roped into that, no pun intended, through his buddy Paulie, because he's, I don't know. I'm wondering, other than like rent, I'm wondering what he actually pays for, because he gets his food basically. He gets some meat for free or steak because he knows him. He works there, gets some meat every day or whatever. So, and he didn't pay for turtle food. He just walks out. He's like, "You got to pay for that," and nobody ever,
Stops him and goes.
nobody ever calls the cops on him or anything. He's like, and yeah. So he kind of starts getting ready for this fight, and then you kind of learn more about him and his sister, Paulie and his sister. She lives with him because, well, she's kind of socially awkward, I guess.
Yes.
You could say, because she's shy, and he's kind of, not physically, I suppose, but like verbally abusive, I suppose, because he's the one who works, and obviously he's not happy with his life because he works. He's like, oh, I can't kill cows no more.
Right.
And then on Thanksgiving, he doesn't like her cooking. Throws her cooking in the alley. And then she had enough and said, hey, do you want to... they go on a date first. Rocky and Adrian go on a date. They go ice skating, where he talks about, it's like... And she asks a question, why do you, I don't understand why anybody would want to be a fighter. Oh, because I can't sing or dance.
Yep.
Yeah, that's it.
Why not?
Why not?
Something to do.
Something to do. So yeah, he's kind of getting ready for this fight, and then the brother Paulie has kind of a breakdown and says, "Hey, I do all these things for you. I get you meat all the time. I don't ask you for money. Get out of my house." And then she eventually leaves and moves in with Rocky, and then Rocky's kind of having cold feet about fighting because he knows that his competition, well, he's the champion of the world, and no one's ever lasted longer. I think never gone. It's called going the distance, where you can go the entire fight and never actually get knocked out.
Right.
Because no one's ever done that. So he's not really setting the bar.
15.
He doesn't want to win. He just wants to go all the way.
Yeah.
Because he figures that's just as good. And surprise, surprise, he actually does pretty good in the fight, because Apollo, obviously, when you see him throughout the movie, and rightfully so, he has a pretty big ego on him because he's won pretty easily all his matches. But you also look and you see, at that time, this is just a few years after there were like lots of race riots and things in the country. That's a black person in a position of power at the top. That's the best at something. But he's, they're just polar opposites. Rocky's kind of a bum. Apollo's like got suits. He's got a posse. He's wearing fur coats. He's doesn't really take him seriously. He's almost as smart as his management. He's like, hey, I want you to buy this in this newspaper. I want you to spend this much on promotion here. You're like, why is the promoter even in the room? Yeah. Because he's obviously a very intelligent person for a boxer. Because he must not be getting hit in the head too much. Yeah. Right.
He does all the hitting.
Yeah, it's all about the hitting and all that kind of thing. Well, apparently he underestimated Rocky because he got knocked down right away in the fight. So it ends up actually being a pretty good match. But Rocky gets knocked down a couple times. But hey, he just gets back up.
He gets back up. Eyes well shut.
Eyes well shut.
Gets back up.
Yeah, and so swollen they had to cut one of them open just so he could see.
Yep.
He's like,
all the good lines in the fight.
He's like, kid, your nose is broken. Yeah? Is it bad? Nah, it's an improvement.
Just that fight. That's a really good fight, actually.
Yeah, it is. And the
In
only
all the boxing movies I've seen.
yeah.
What are the
Have
bad
you
ones?
seen a lot of boxing
No.
movies? No. Is this the first one?
No, I've seen a few. I've seen at least half of the Rocky movies. And then other, not really boxing movies, but like fighting movies. I've seen a bunch of fighting movies.
Okay.
I'm okay with fighting movies.
Yeah.
But
Fighting movies aren't bad if they're done right.
if they're done right.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because
Very
a
true.
lot of times they're not always done right.
Very true.
At least I don't think they are. But anyway, the fight's like over, and the judges make the decision to, of course, give the champ. They vote for him, and
It is a split decision, though.
it's
so,
a
like,
split
it's very
decision, but
close.
like it was like a tiebreaker kind of a thing. So
He did go all rounds. So
yeah,
without
but if you
knockout.
really want to see a better assessment of the fight, you kind of have to watch the beginning of Rocky 2 to see
Yeah.
what Burgess Meredith says, because it's pretty much sums up everything that was about
It's
the
like,
fight.
don't watch Rocky. Just watch Rocky 2.
Yeah.
The first 10 minutes.
Well, Rocky 2 is, like I said, it could be one movie.
It's all one.
Yeah. Yeah, and then after that, people are still excited to talk to Rocky because he went the distance, and he's kind of like,
You got there.
you got
Whoa.
there, and then he's like looking for Adrian. He gets to the ring, and he's like, she's like, Rocky. He's like, where's your hat? Yeah, because she lost her hat in the crowd.
Lost
or
her hat in
something.
the
She had
crowd.
this big hat and that kind of thing. So, yeah, and that's
It's Rocky.
it's Rocky. And then it won Best Picture, and it led to how many sequels?
8.
8.
So
1 through
there's
5.
5.
Rocky Balboa, which should be
Uh,
6, and the 2 Creed movies, so that's 8 movies total.
Yep. And there will be a third Creed movie coming out next year, apparently.
Oh, really?
Yep.
Okay, I didn't know that.
Yeah. I read that this morning.
So what are they going to do with that?
I don't know.
It's like, well, he fought,
I have seen half of the Rocky movies, 1 through 4.
yeah, because he
I
fought
haven't seen the other ones.
the guy who killed his dad in Creed 2. So where else can he go from there?
Space. I mean, that's
No.
what they're doing in the Fast and Furious movies, so might as
Yeah.
well.
Rocky takes Manhattan. I'm just going like, when I think
Rocky
of
versus Jason.
when I think of ridiculous sequels, I think of the Friday the 13th franchise, because he fights a telepath. He goes to Manhattan. He goes to space. He goes to hell. Where other places can he go? But
He goes back to Crystal Lake.
I think was it in the Robert Rodriguez made that Grindhouse movie where he made a fake trailer for Machete in space with Danny Trejo.
Oh, yeah.
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 I thought that was awesome.
Machete in
Yeah.
space. Good times. I'd watch that movie.
Oh, if he actually
Definitely
made that,
would watch that movie.
I would watch that, because Robert Rodriguez, well, he did make Spy Kids, so he can do
Yeah.
wrong.
Spy
but
Kids
I think
isn't that.
I think
like
he-
Spy Kids is good for the demographic it was made for.
Yeah. Okay. I think he made that for his kids.
Yes.
Is why he made that.
Yep.
Movie, so, but he has a very, he's like a modern John Carpenter. I think he's like a blend of Tarantino and Carpenter. I
Yep.
think he makes those kind of movies with that, because he's
I would agree.
Hispanic, and he has a very Texas-y influence to his films, and he's really good. So yeah, that's Rocky.
That's Rocky.
Rating time, Erin. The student has brought the paper to the desk. It's waiting for a grade. What grade do you give Rocky?
I give Rocky a B+.
A B plus. Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
It is really good. Like, not a perfect movie, but still, overall, really good.
Yeah.
Watchable. You root for the guy the entire time. You're like,
Yeah.
you're with him on the stairs. So
A protagonist you can actually cheer for.
yeah,
Unlike some movies I've watched recently. But it's like, why am I cheering for this guy? Yeah, no, I think this is a Best Picture winner for a reason, and I'm going to give it an A+.
nice.
So, yeah. I'd say it's all downhill from here, but I don't think it's quite down. I mean, it does. I don't think they're quite as good, but they're entertaining.
Yeah.
The Rocky sequel, most of them.
I mean,
except for 5.
Yeah.
5's pretty terrible.
I'm a big fan of 4.
4, 3
but
is very
I
good.
like Dolph Lundgren, so
Yeah.
big fan.
I must break.
I must break you.
Yeah.
If he dies, he dies.
Yes. All right. Well, that's it for Erin and Drew's movie reviews. Until next time, I'm Drew.
I'm Erin.
And there ain't gonna be no rematch. Don't want one.
Cable television is the swellest thing they got.